Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Data Analyst Pathway. I'm Sam, and today we are getting to the very heart of what it means to be an analyst. We are diving into Knowledge 54, K54, how to critically analyze, interpret and evaluate complex information from diverse datasets. Think about this concept: anyone can eat a meal and say if they like it. But a food critic does more. They understand the ingredients, the technique, and the context. Today, you learn to become a data critic. Our goal is to learn the mental models for thinking critically about data. We are moving from just seeing numbers to truly understanding the story they tell, and, crucially, judging whether that story is actually true. Because in business, bad analysis leads to bad decisions, and you are the filter that stops that from happening. Let's decode the standard. K54 asks for 3 distinct cognitive actions: analyze, interpret, and evaluate. Analyze is about deconstruction. It's taking a massive, complex dataset and breaking it down. You look for trends, patterns, and outliers. Interpret is about translation. It's adding context. Sales are down is a fact. Sales are down because it was a holiday is an interpretation. Evaluate is about judgment. This is the critical thinking part. You ask, is this data actually trustworthy? Is the sample size big enough? Is there bias? And we do this across diverse datasets. We don't just trust one source. We combine SQL databases, CSV files, and API to triangulate the truth. The first step in critical analysis is interrogation. The biggest mistake analysts make is accepting data at face value. The dashboard says sales are up, so they must be up. You must act like a detective and ask the 4 questions of provenance. Origin: where did this come from? Is it a reliable system log, or a spreadsheet Bob updates manually? Method: how was it collected? Was it a mandatory field or an optional survey question? Completeness: what is missing? If 50% of the rows have null values, the average is meaningless. Timeliness: is this data from today or last month? By answering these, you establish a confidence level. You can say, I am 90% sure this is true, which is much more professional than blind faith. Next is interpretation. This is where we find the why. But be careful, data without context is dangerous. The classic trap is confusing correlation with causation. Just because ice cream sales and shark attacks both go up in summer doesn't mean ice cream attracts sharks. They are both caused by a third factor: hot weather. You must also look for seasonality. Is sales dropping a crisis, or does it happen every February? Look for external factors. Did a competitor launch a product? A great technique here is segmentation. Don't just look at the global average. Break it down by region or user type. Does the trend hold true for everyone? That is deep interpretation. Finally, evaluation. How do we know we are right? We use a technique called triangulation. In a court of law, you never rely on a single witness. In data, you never rely on a single dataset. Imagine your CRM shows customer churn is up. That's one data point. Then you look at support tickets, dataset 2, and see a spike in login issues. Then you look at App Store reviews, dataset 3, and see 1-star reviews complaining about login. Now you have triangulated the truth. You can confidently conclude that the churn is caused by the login bug. Diverse datasets protect you from single source errors. Now you have triangulated the truth. You can confidently conclude that the churn is caused by the login bug. Diverse datasets protect you from single source errors. Imagine the scenario: new customers are leaving early. First, you analyze. You use cohort analysis to break down churn by join date. Then, you interpret. You see a massive spike in churn specifically for users who joined in March. Then, you evaluate. You bring in a diverse dataset, the engineering release notes. You see that a new, buggy mobile app was launched in March. You put it all together. The poor performance of the March mobile app update is driving early churn. That is critical analysis in action. Here is how you can apply K54 tomorrow. Action 1. Provenance. Pick a dashboard you look at every day. Do you know where the data actually comes from? Find the source: SQL query or API check if it filters out cancelled orders. Know your source. Action 2. Critique. Find a chart in the news or a company report. Don't just accept it. Critique it. Ask, what is the sample size? Are the axes manipulated? Write down 3 questions. Action 3. Triangulate. The next time you find an insight, don't stop. Find a second source to back it up. If sales are up, does web traffic match? Be the person in the room who asks, how do we know this? For your portfolio, use STAR. This is the Mythbuster story. Situation: marketing claimed a new campaign was a huge success based on a high number of clicks. Task: I needed to critically evaluate if this activity was actually driving revenue for the business. Action: I analyzed the click data alongside the actual sales database, using diverse datasets. I interpreted the results. While clicks were huge, conversion to cache was near zero. I then evaluated the provenance of the click data and discovered that 40% of the traffic came from known bot IP addresses. Result: we identified wasted ad spend and paused the campaign immediately. Reflection: I learned that vanity metrics, like clicks, can be dangerously misleading without critical evaluation and triangulation with financial data. In your major project, K54 is your data analysis chapter. Include a data dictionary, list every dataset you used, its source, and, crucially, any quality issues you found. Have a caveat section. Explicitly state the limitations. This analysis excludes users from Region 10 because the data was incomplete. Annotate your charts. If there is a spike, add a text box explaining it. Note: Q3 spike due to Black Friday. Assessors respect this. Acknowledging limitations makes you look like a serious professional who understands the complexity of the real world. Let's wrap up. We've learned that K54 is about being a data detective. We use the lenses of analysis, interpretation, and evaluation. We rely on provenance checks and triangulation to find the truth. Your next step is to perform a provenance check on a dataset you use daily. Dig until you find the source. In our next session, we will look at K55, where we go deeper into the technical side, understanding data structures and architectures. Remember the famous quote: if you torture the data long enough, it will confess to anything. Your job is to treat it fairly and get the truth. See you next time. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you now feel more confident in mastering this topic. If you found value in this session, I have a small favor to ask. Please hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and follow our channel. It really means a lot to me and helps the algorithm show these lessons to other apprentices just like you who need support. Don't forget, you can download today's slides and the full transcript at www.mentorinai.com EPA Hub. While you are there, check out our mock interview and portfolio review services to make sure you are fully ready for your EPA. See you in the next video. Keep learning.